All right, all right. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Right now, just Derek. Derek, if you can hear me clearly, can I get a 17 in the chat? Awesome. Oh, I should also say this is Dr. Joe's reading writing class. Today is July 17th. All right, let's get started. So let's just do the homework quickly. Derek, it's gonna be all you. Take it from here.
Do you want me to read the whole sentence for each?
Um, Honestly, it's just you in this class. You could do whatever you prefer.
Uh, the blank expression on her face made it clear she wasn't enjoying the celebration, despite the music and laughter around her. Saturnine, or yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, though he claimed he wouldn't speak ill of his opponent, his speech was full of sly, acrasia.
Mm, I would say I would say it's more apophysis because he says he wouldn't mention ill of him, but it's all constant points against him really. And then what about number three?
Uh, the room was silent except for the gentle su the first one. Yeah.
Susurrus. Okay, James, could you do the next two?
I think it's cahinate and acrasia.
Oh, it's just cackling. And then Acrasia. Nice. Awesome. Good stuff, guys. All right, let's keep it going to the book of the day. James, could you start us off?
The 57 Blues. Dash, cut, slatter. One teenager in a skirt. One teenager with a lighter. One moment that changed both lives forever. If it weren't for the 57 bus, Sasha and Richard never would have met. Both were high school students from Oakland, California. One from the most diverse cities in the country, but they inhabited different worlds. Sasha, a white teen, lived in the middle class foothills and attended a small private school. Richard, a black teen, lived in the crime-plagued flatlands and attended a large public one. Each day their paths overlapped with a mere 8 minutes, but one afternoon, on the bus ride home from school, a single reckless act left Sasha severely burned and Richard charged with two hate crimes and facing life imprisonment. The case garnered international attention, thrusting both teenagers into the spotlight.
Awesome. So um a little bit of a crime drama here. But it's quite interesting and uh really drills in the idea of consequences for your actions. Okay, so can I get Samuel? Can you read the author?
Dashka Slater's novel, The Wishing Box, was named one of the best books of the year by the Los Angeles Times, which called it an impish novel, hopeful and full of humor. He is the author of four acclaimed children's books: Baby Shoes, Firefighters of the Dark in the Dark, The Sea Serpent, and Me and Dangerously Ever After. She has two picture books forthcoming in 2017, as well as the much anticipated young adult nonfiction narrative, The 57 Bus. Slater is also an award-winning journalist who has written for such publications as Music, More, Salon, Mother Jones, Syria, and the New York Times Magazine. The recipient of Creative Writing Fellowship from the National Endowment for the Arts, she is currently working on new books for both children and adults. Learn more at
Awesome. Sorry, I cropped out the URL. I'm just gonna crop out the last bit. This is from her website. Okay, let us read the quote of the day. So it's a snippet from her book. It's quite interesting because I'm going to make you understand the family motto. Never let your obstacles become more important than your goal. Sorry, this first part is actually not really relevant. I just wanted to keep it in there just to give maybe a sense of um context, although it doesn't really give context, so maybe I should have just gotten rid of it. But the main idea here is never let your obstacles become more important than your goal, right? So do you agree with the quote? Why or why not? I don't even need to add that in there. You guys should know that by now. So I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes, starting the timer now. All right, all right. Time is up. Let's see what we came up with. Only two responses. I even gave a little bit of extra time. All right, Samuel, start us off. Samuel, can you read this for us?
Yeah. Um, I agree with this quote by Jessica Slater. Sometimes your focuses can be steered off path. For instance, if you and your friend are having an argument and all you want to do is gain your friend back, but then your anger takes control of you and starts insulting them behind their back. You are focusing more on getting mad at your friend instead of getting back together. I agree with this quote because focusing on the goal is more efficient than prioritizing the difficulties.
Ah, interesting. Good stuff. So, for instance, if you and your friend are having an argument, all you want to do gain you. All you want to do is, let's say, gain your friend back. But then, for instance, if you and your friend are having so you're okay, so this is a very long, convoluted sentence. But your anchor is focusing. Okay. So there's a few things you could do changes. Like I would say maybe start with like an example could be if you and your friend are having an argument and you let your anger take control of you, start insulted them. Um that would be, someone who is more focused on trying to release their anger and insult their friend rather than concluding the argument and, gaining their friend back. Something like that. Separate it into two different sentences, break it up, make it clear. But all in one sentence like this, where there's multiple different clauses, is a little bit confusing. But it's a good example nonetheless. I agree. Like sometimes when you're arguing, even with your parents, right? You want something, they want something. You guys start arguing, but at some point, sometimes you just get so upset that you want them to start, maybe you want them to feel bad, or you want them to feel, or they want you to respect them rather than solve the original issue. It becomes a sort of a whole other problem, right? Nice. Okay, Russell, would you like to read yours?
I think it is trying to convey that if you focus too much on what's hard, you might give up or lose motivation. For example, if your goal is to improve your tennis skills, but you keep thinking my serve always goes long and let that stop you from practicing, then that will distract you from your goal.
If you focus so much on what's hard, you might give up those. For example, if your goal is to improve your tennis skills, but you keep thinking which goes wrong and let that thought stop you from practicing. Okay, great. This is also long, but the comma and sentence structure make it a little bit cleaner. Okay, so interesting. So you took it as don't instead of don't be focused on the obstacles, you said don't, let your obstacles prevent you, yeah, become more important and prevent you from achieving your goals. Good stuff. Great interpretation. Nice, good job, Russell. Okay, James, would you like to read yours?
I think that this quote means that people shouldn't ever be distracted by their current problems, but should instead focus on the final goal. Rather than doing something that only benefits you now, you should do things that help you for a long time. For example, I used to have a bad grip in golf, but the balls I hit were extremely good. So I completely ignored that my bad grip would cause my ball to be inconsistent and bad later on. This example shows that instead of focusing on my final goal, I chose short-term success.
Awesome. Okay. the current problem, but it said focus on the final goal rather than doing something that only benefits you now. You should do something that helps you long term. For example, balls, but the balls I hit were extremely. So I completely ignored that my bad grip caused my ball to be inconsistent and bad later on. This example shows that instead of focus. Oh, okay. Interesting. So you weren't focusing on the end goal of sending the ball flying, but you started focusing on the grip issue, and that could have delayed you. Nice. Good stuff so far, everyone. Okay, two more. Okay, Derek, would you like to read yours? Derek? Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, go for it.
I thought I pressed. The quote by Dashiki Slater tells me that when you want to accomplish a goal, you should never put more effort into fixing obstacles than working on the goal. For example, let's say you want to learn how to play the violin, but you can only afford a very cheap one. Although it might be bad, it's easier to start learning with it than try to go out of your way and buy a better one.
Ooh, very good example here, and it's very pertinent to a lot of young people. Um, Man, I see this all the time. I talk to some friends and they're like, "Oh yeah, like I want to go start learning how to do that, or I want to start learning how to do this, but I'm gonna wait until, I have a full free weekend or something like that, or I have I have a month off from work and I'm gonna go do that." But that's not effective. The best time to do something is when you have some time to do it, right? Let's say you're trying to learn like how to play the piano. Don't wait until you have a whole week off or you have a good piano or something. Start doing something now, whenever you can, right? Great example. Very good interpretation. Xiaoya, would you like to read yours?
Uh, what Dr. Slater is trying to convey is that we should push through and not give up, even if it seems impossible. It's saying that if we try our best and carry on, we are bound to achieve something new. This quote shows that anything is possible and that nothing is impossible. It only hasn't been done yet.
Awesome. Okay. Sorry, just reread it in my head. This quote shows that anything is possible and that nothing is impossible. It only hasn't been done yet. Possible. It only hasn't been done. Shows that anything is possible and nothing is impossible. I am wondering what. No, this comma is not needed. That's fine. Okay, it's saying that great, good stuff, everyone. I would say this is more of like a tertiary interpretation. So you took the main idea of the quote, and then you also extrapolated another sort of idea on top of that, right? But yeah, good stuff. Okay, vocab of the day. Can I get a volunteer to read this for us? Can I get how about Russell? Russell, can you read this for us?
Torpor. Noun. A state of physical or mental inactivity, sluggishness. She sat in torpor all morning, barely noticing the rain. Defenestrate. Defenestrate. Verb. To throw someone or something out of a window. Legend says the rebels defenestrated the king's advisor during the uprising. Risible. Adjective. Laughable or absurd, provoking laughter. The film's risible dialogue turned the drama into an accidental comedy. Peregrination. Noun. A journey, especially a long or meandering one. Their peregrination through the Andes took nearly a month. Sibylline. Adjective. Mysterious, cryptic, or prophetic. Her Sibylline warning echoed in his mind long after the danger had passed.
Awesome. Okay, you guys know the drill. 3 minutes. Create a short paragraph or one sentence with all the words. Starting the timer now.
Can you put them in the chat?
Yes. All right, all right. Let's see what we came up with. Okay, Russell, would you like to read yours?
Bob was torpor for the whole week after George's Sibylline text about his peregrination to the site of Bob 2.0's risible defenestration.
Huh. So the risible defenestration of what? I guess Bob 2.0 being thrown out the window. Okay, that is fair. I would just add, just a little something like Bob 2.0's risible defenestration, of himself or something, just to make it clear. But it's actually really fine. Oh, hey, Jaya, would you like to read yours?
Oh, I edited mine because I forgot a word and then I didn't realize it after I
Oh.
sent it, so I have an edited version of it.
Okay, I will add your edited version.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey, because he doesn't come to our meetings anymore. This is kind of like a memorial, kind of.
He's on vacation.
For like 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
I think it
Okay,
was
well
supposed
never
to be
mind. I
3 months.
can get rid of his name then. Jeffrey. Oh wait, no, this is kind of bad though. Jeffrey defenestrated Bob in his sibling letter to his wife during the peregrination. Since he was torpor. Oh, sorry, I actually put two spaces. That's my bad. Torpor and lazy, causing risible laughter from the other climbers.
Risible laughter. Risible laughter. Okay. The laughter caused more people to laugh. Okay, I think that's fair. Torpor grade during the peregrination. Yep. Sibylline. Oh, nice. And whose Sibylline letter to whose wife, right? So this is what gets tricky because you said
Oh
Jeff,
wait, it's Bob's.
right, and Bob's Sibylline letter to his wife. So I would just repeat it somewhere here just to make it clear. There's no confusion. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna highlight. All right. James, would you like to read yours?
Jimmy felt torpor all day after a peregrination to Africa, and felt even worse when he found out that his friend defenestrated his white blanket with little ducklings. People thought it was risible and sibylline that Jimmy clung to such a blanket.
Okay, nice. Nice. Jimmy clung to such a blanket. Okay. Good stuff, James. All right. Who are we missing? Just missing Samuels. Okay, Samuel, would you like to read yours?
Oh, by the way, I meant like lost for the first one, not lost. Lost in torpor,
Oh,
her face made a risible face which led her friends to laugh. She was exhausted from her peregrination in Africa last week. As she looked around, she saw her friend looking sullen in the corner. She didn't think much of it until her friend just finished her trophies because of her envy.
awesome. Her face made a risible. Her face made a risible face. Okay. Makes sense. Think it's avoidable, but she was exhausted from peregrination. She looked around. She said, okay, good stuff. Good stuff, Samuel. All right. Good stuff, everyone. We had some good participation there. For the next activity, we're going back to a fan favorite. We're going to do the hot takes. Okay, I think I skipped the hot take section. Where is the hot take section? But where is it? Oh, right here. Okay, hot takes. So give another. I said another because we've done this a few times now. But anyways, give another hot take of yours. Explain why this is your belief. Defend it with your life. Okay, so defend it to the best of your ability. And I'll give you 4 minutes to do that. And keep in mind, someone is going to attack your opinion after. Okay, starting the timer now. Okay, time is up. I'm gonna give like an extra minute because I don't see any other responses other than Samuel's. Okay, time's up. We're good. We only have 3 responses. This is upsetting. What's going on, guys? Only 3 responses. There's 5 people in the class. 2 missing responses. Xiaoya, where is your response?
Oh, I still have one more sentence I need to add.
Okay, fine. Add your sentence. Okay, Samuel. Would you like to read yours?
Small dogs are better than big dogs because you can pick them up and cuddle with them. They are easier to walk and they are cheaper maintenance because you can buy smaller sizes of product.
Okay, nice. Nice. Is that yeah, that's a pretty good hot take. I don't think it's controversial, but it's a good take. It's like a good, somewhat divisive take. All right, James, would you like to read yours?
Broccoli is a terrible vegetable to eat. Broccoli is a flavorless and waxy little green tree when raw, and is bitter and mushy when people oversteam it.
Okay, now that is a hot take because I disagree. Okay, wait, actually, I don't disagree. Technically, yeah, you don't really eat it raw, and you're not supposed to over steam it. But actually, I think this is you need to give it. You have to, if you're gonna say broccoli is a terrible vegetable, you have to say even when it's cooked well, it's a terrible vegetable, right? So I'm just gonna actually add it's terrible even when cooked well. Something like that. Because otherwise you can't really argue against that. Okay. And Russell, what's yours? What's your take?
Teachers banning AI today is like teachers banning calculators in the 80s. Teaching students how to use it smartly instead of pretending it doesn't exist is going to benefit students' learning and problem-solving abilities tenfold.
Okay, nice. Um, I think I agree. All right, and Xiaoya. Let's see yours. Oh, okay. Xiaoya, would you like to read yours?
You should dip sauce instead of pouring it, and this is why. When you dip sauce, you have full control of how much sauce you want. When you pour, you might just end up with a nugget and a pool of BBQ sauce on your hands. This leads me to my next point. Dipping is cleaner. When you dip your food, you can avoid the messy fingerprints and eat with ease. When you pour, however, a huge glob of sauce might accidentally gush out and leave you with a very flavorful piece of food. Dipping is superior. Hopefully you
Okay,
guys agree on that.
interesting. That instead of pouring it, interesting take. I don't know if I agree with that, but
What? Are you okay?
well, okay.
When you pour, you're just like you might like just like try to like get it's also way quicker when you dip it because like you can it's like cleaner and it's like more like it's like quicker because when you pour it you have to like kind of like you have to like very carefully like get it on your piece of food.
Right. Well, it depends. Okay, does this include like pouring wing sauce over wings?
What?
Like,
I'm confused.
does this include pouring sauce on your chicken wings?
Wait, that just changes things. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no
Well,
second.
you're supposed to like I feel like dipping is better for like most of the
Okay,
things. Dipping is
okay,
better.
interesting. Good take, good take.
Cause like you dip your chicken fingers in cane sauce. You dip your like your wings in ranch or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Do you see? It's like so
Okay.
much easier.
So Samuel has consistently replied first, and then I think it was James after that in the past. So let's look. Samuel, then Russell here. Russell. Okay, never mind. So we'll do Samuel, then Russell pick. So Samuel, whose would you like to attack first?
James.
Okay, So Samuel's attacking James. Russell, would you like to attack?
Samuels.
Samuel. All right. And then now James, who would you like to attack between Russell and Xiaoya?
Xiaoya.
Xiaoya. And then Xiaoya,
I have to attack Russell's,
you have to attack Russell's.
but I agree with his.
Now if you agree, remember, you just have to act like you don't and tackle it. Okay. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit less time. So we'll do 3 minutes. Starting the timer now. All right, all right. Time is up. Let's see what we came up with. All right, Samuel, start us off.
When put in a good meal, broccoli can be a delicious add-on for pasta, soups, and a lot more types of food. Like a lot of things, broccoli won't oh, I don't know why I put S. Broccoli won't have flavor unless you give it some, like carrots or rice. So I think it's unfair to say it's flavorless when you're not supposed to eat it raw. Broccoli is a tasty vegetable that is a lot more than some mini trees.
Awesome. Broccoli is a tasty vegetable. Yeah, awesome. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, broccoli with some oil, garlic, and whatever, just like fry it a little bit, like pan sear it a little bit. Goes great with anything, in my opinion. Awesome. And all right. James, would you like to read yours?
Pouring sauce and dipping sauce are pretty much the same things and each are better in their own ways. Dipping sauce allows you to get the amount you want without getting your fingers messing, but pouring sauce allows you to get big portions of sauce at a time. Although it mainly depends on which sauce you are using on your food, I think that pouring is better because I don't have to dip my chicken wings in the small container multiple times.
I think that pouring is better because I don't have to dip my chicken wings in the small container multiple times. Interesting. Okay, so pouring is efficient in that you don't have to keep moving around your stuff. Once the sauce is poured on, you can put the bottle of sauce away. Okay. Dipping sauce also allows you to get, well, but pouring sauce allows you to get a bigger portion of sauce at the same time. Okay, pretty good. So you're addressing some of the pros on the other side too, but the best way to do it is address a pro, but somehow twist it also to be a con, right? So dipping allows you to get the amount you want without getting your fingers messy, but like maybe depends on the container. Sometimes like this actually I don't know. But pouring sauce, if you I would say maybe like dipping sauce allows you to get just a little bit on at the same time as you have more control. But if you're good at pouring sauce, you should have just as much control, etc. Something like that. Because you don't want to just say a good point about the other side and leave it there. You usually want to somehow address an even better point or twist that point in a way where it can also be a negative in comparison to your point. Okay, that's the art of manipulation, but persuasive writing is in a way just manipulation. Okay, cool. Okay, Xavier, would you like to read yours?
Allowing students to use AI will lead to heavy consequences. Leaving kids with full control of AI will cause students to Google cheat sheets and assist to homework and so much more. This will actually decrease the students' learning and problem-solving skills, even though the teachers might talk about it. Oh, sorry, might talk about it, not might talk about not. Oh, sorry, wait, no. Oopsie poopsie. Never mind. Even though teachers might talk about not cheating at school, some kids aren't that honest. I accidentally did something. I don't know what I did.
Okay, even though teachers might talk about, I would say, I talk about, um, I would say would ask students not to cheat at school, right? That would be the most clearest way to say that. Even though teachers might talk to and ask students not to cheat at school, some kids aren't that honest. That's true. Side note, I actually somewhat agree with you. I think that they need to be given AI to teach them how to use it and maybe solve some things that would just be time consuming to solve on their own. But I also think that and it is very helpful, etc. But I also do like there are studies that show that like just by chat GPTing everything, your brain chemistry is actually changing because your brain is like, hey, I don't have to work that hard on anything. So it can also be bad. Xiaoya?
They should use like school AI. Like our school uses school AI. It's like a little robot that like helps you with like coming up with ideas. It's not like ChatGPT, but it's like for like kids and for like school and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's like a very, very basic version.
Yeah, they don't give you answers. They give you like ideas and like
Okay, interesting. That's good, but I also think that I don't know. I don't think it should be used for ideas or things like that. I think it should be used to like do some tasks, some time-consuming tasks very quickly. That's
wait,
what.
can I say something that sounds really strict?
Yeah.
I think that like during big tests or during like any kind of test, there should be like an electronics bin. They should put it in the bin.
Yeah, no, no. I think that's
That sounds extremely strict because like no school does that anymore. But like I think nobody.
no, I think that's totally fine. I mean, when you're in university or college, usually for an exam, they will make you put your phone in like a backpack in front of you, like and they'll watch you do it. So if you ever get caught with like a phone in your pocket, like if it starts ringing and it's in your pocket, or if it's in like on your desk or on whatever, you're allowed to get kicked out of the examination room because you were supposed to put it in your bag in front of you. Or
They
like,
should do it for like middle school, high school, and college. Like they get ready for like yeah.
yeah, it gets more serious later on. Yeah. Okay, Russell, what would you like to read yours?
I disagree with the claim small dogs are better than big dogs because what the? I swear I typed are better, but okay. Are better suited for active lifestyles, excelling in outdoor activities like hiking or running, and they often make more effective guard/service dogs due to their size and presence. Big dogs are also more tolerant to rough play with children, making them better family dogs since they can handle the pain.
Ah, interesting. I didn't know that last point. That's very good. You sound like you have a dog. Russell, do you have a dog?
No, but I want a dog.
Ah, okay, yeah. Same. I always wanted a dog. Now I don't live with my parents, but um I don't I still can't have a dog right now. Um maybe later. Maybe later. Awesome. Okay, let's keep going to the okay, so actually before we move on, these are some great rebuttals actually. I think who here did anybody change their mind from their original opinion?
No.
No, nobody? Okay. Who here
No.
who here think that no, I don't want to ask it like that. But are there any hot takes? Actually, you know what? Let's just go back to the hot takes page. Who agrees with Samuel's hot take here? Put your hand up if you agree with Samuel. Only Samuel agrees with Samuel. Okay. And James and Jaya. Okay, interesting. So more people agree with Samuel here.
They're scarier for little children
That's true.
than
Okay,
the big dogs.
who here agrees with James that broccoli is a terrible vegetable? Only James? Okay. Who here agrees with Russell that teachers banning AI is like teachers banning calculators? Okay, we have half the class. And who here believes dipping sauce is better than pouring it? Okay, we got a couple takers. Okay. Oh, majority of the class. Okay, these are some pretty good hot takes, guys. Like you want your hot take to have a minority of people agree with it. Otherwise, it's not really a hot take. It's just a take. Um, awesome. Okay, let's keep going to our article of the day. Why people can't quit Chat GPT.
Let's go.
Okay. Russell, can you read this first line?
This spring, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman advertised a new model of ChatGPT by showcasing its ability to write fiction. He had prompted the bot to write a story about grief in the style of metafiction, a self-reflexive genre in which the narrator weaves personal details into the story. It duly generated a winding tale that compares grieving a dead loved one to the loss function, technical jargon for a bit of the math that makes modern artificial intelligence systems work. Mr. Altman crowed about the passage, implying that such a complex genre, one associated with pretentious literary types, could be written only by a really intelligent agent. I'm a professor of literature, and I think the story is a solid illustration of the genre. I don't know that it's great literature or that ChatGPT is about to take over our literary publishing. I certainly don't think it proves that ChatGPT is intelligent. It just shows that it is an expert imitator of style. More broadly, I think we're having the wrong debates about AI altogether. In a recent article for The Atlantic, Tyler Austin Harper called AI a scam, an animatronic simulation of intelligence. This claim went against not just Mr. Altman, but also many tech journalists and data wonks who think Silicon Valley's narrative that we are close to real machine intelligence is plausible. The linguist Emily Bender and the sociologist Alex Hanna think that the AI is a con, and Dr. Bender describes it as a set of tricks that produces synthetic text rather than human meaning.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, thank you for reading that, Russell. Um, so there's a lot to unpack there, but yeah, like there is the argument that, AI right now, as it is right now, is not generative, so it is really just repeating things that it sees based on word connections, right? So sorry, that's just one thing I wanted to add there. Okay, next slide. Can I get James? James, can you read this one?
These criticisms do little to explain AI's popularity. They miss the fact that humans love to play games with language, not just use it to test. Altman inadvertently showed us is that what is really driving the widespread use of large language models like ChatGPT is that they are fun. AI is a form of entertainment. OpenAI seems to just understand this. ChatGPT was the then fastest platform to gain 100 million users, a feat it pulled off in just 2 months. The company just teamed up with Mactol, which could result in a Barbie you could have a conversation with. The endless back and forth about intelligence seems abstract compared with the reality that millions of people are using these systems to write emails, simulate tutors, and even fall in love with their chat partner avatars. There's the scholars Neil Postman's idea about rise of the death with the medium could extend to AI. You can't become obsessed with something that isn't amusing in the first place. No one ever fell in love with a calculator.
Awesome, awesome. Great points here too. Okay, let's keep going. Russell, can you read this one? Oh wait, Russell, did you read the first one? Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Jaya, can you read this one?
There's a name for being fooled and think you're dealing with an intelligent being when you're not. The Eliza effect. The name comes from the first chatbot built by the computer scientist Joseph Weizenbaum in 1966, and named for George Bernard Shaw's character Eliza Doolittle. Mr. Weizenbaum thought of his program as a simple trick and was horrified when his secretary testing it asked him to leave the room because her conversation with the chatbot had become too intimate. Critics of AI today seem to think that the whole world is under the spell of the Eliza effect. Hundreds of millions of people deluded by gimmicks. But what if the effect is a sign of not delusion, but a simple desire to keep chatting, to play with the limits of language? When the Times of London journalist James Marriott posted an AI-generated review of Martin Amis' novel, The Rachel Papers, he set off a vehement debate about whether the passage was of magazine quality or shallow and repetitive. The argument wasn't really about intelligence, it was about words. Underneath all the barbs and shouting, fueled by a broader public panic about a literary crisis, I thought people reading and interpreting passionately.
Awesome. The Eliza effect, where well, that's when people sort of have a hard time discerning from AI and real life, and it's going to be it's going to be a problem. I really think that in another 10 years, we're going to see a lot of people in dating their computers. Like literally, I think they're going to start having emotional relationships with their computers. So that I think that will become a problem one day. Sorry, Russell, you want to say something?
Wait, what? How do you date a computer?
Well, they're gonna be on like some sort of chat bot on their PC, right? Some sort of chat GPT,
Okay.
whatever, and they're gonna just, tell it how their day went every day. And then the chat bot's gonna reply and say, "Oh, that's awesome." Blah, blah, blah. They're just gonna feel good and they're gonna end up, dating their computers. I really think it's gonna happen. It probably already has happened to a few people. So it is very interesting. Okay, let's get Derek. Derek, can you read the slide? Okay, let's get Samuel. Samuel, can you read the slide?
When I was a child, the panic was about video games, which were supposed to degrade us morally, make us stupid, and otherwise warp society permanently. None of that happened, even as video games became a globally popular form of entertainment. Even the most serious base of AI, its ability to pass tests, solve difficult problems, and math problems hit benchmarks, can also be viewed as a form of entertainment. Puzzles. Humans have always used cognitive challenges as a form of fun, and the history of AI is filled with these types of games, such as chess and Go. One group of academics, led by cognitive scientist Alison Gopnik, has characterized large language models as cultural technologies, meaning that the bots contain an enormous amount of human knowledge, writing, images, and other forms of cultural production. I tend to agree, but I think it's crucial to understand that using such systems is also extremely entertaining. Whether you are touching up the Mona Lisa, reviewing novels, or doing logic puzzles, you are engaging in the very human drive to play.
Awesome, awesome. And last but not least, can I think we're going back to the top. Russell, can you read this one?
As I've watched people adopt these systems, what I've seen is mostly people playing with art and language. If you go through the history of these bots, you see poetry, fiction, and all kinds of little genre experiments, like this as a constantly recurring theme. Literary uses like this are deployed to advertise the bots and their abilities, as well as quantitative metrics to determine AI's linguistic capabilities in formal data science papers. The effect isn't limited to language either. OpenAI also advertised one of its early models with an image produced by the prompt astronaut riding a horse. The natural response to this image is to think, cool, AI is a culture machine. That's not to say I don't share many of the worries of the critics. AI's deployment in medicine, military applications, hiring algorithms, and beyond is alarming. Nobody should feel comfortable with the Defense Department's intentions to use Elon Musk's Grok chatbot. So soon after it posted a deluge of anti-Semitic comments. But I simply don't think AI is driving the bus when it comes to these problems. Many of our systems are simply broken in the first place, and AI seems like a fix even when it isn't. We ought to think about AI as an entertainment system before anything else. Would you replace all of the primary education with Sesame Street or decide government policy with SimCity? It's not an insult to the beloved children's program or computer game to say no. The lesson is simple. We might be taking AI too seriously.
Guys, what's going on?
Is it just me?
No.
No, I can. I
Is
mean, you all can hear
oh
it.
Oh,
okay.
my
Oh,
is my
Yeah.
microphone working again?
you weren't talking for the past like 2 minutes.
Oh,
And we couldn't hear anything. We were just like sitting. We were all just like waiting awkwardly.
oh, that's weird. Oh, I think my di internet disconnected and because I didn't see your messages either. All of it came out back out at once. Okay, very weird. Um, okay, so wait. Okay, so let's go to first question. Author argues that artificial AI is better understood as entertainment than as intelligence. Do you agree or disagree with this perspective? Let's do 4 minutes. Starting the timer now. Okay, time is up. Let's see what we came up with. All right, Samuel, start us off.
AI is a form of intelligence, not entertainment. If helping kids get out of school work is considered entertainment, then calculators would be entertainment too. Sure, you'll be happy with advice, avoiding work, and a lot more. But things that bring you joy are always classified as entertainment.
But things that bring you joy aren't always classified as entertainment. That's a very great point here. Things that bring you joy aren't always classified as entertainment. That's a very good rebuttal. It's almost like it's almost an entertaining response also, right? Like if you guys read editorials on New York Times or any news outlet, the good editorials always end with a line like that to argue their point, because it really sticks. So that's a very good line, Samuel. Okay, we'll go through more responses and then I'll give my take on this. Xiaoya, would you like to read yours?
I disagree with the author. AI has the ability to summarize entire textbooks, write essays, and solve complex math problems. It can also generate entire videos and photos as well. This shows how intelligent AI is and how big it's getting.
Awesome. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Russell, would you like to read yours?
I disagree because tech companies around the world are rapidly advancing AI toward artificial general intelligence, AGI, which aims to achieve sentience and consciousness, which by then will be defined as equal to human intelligence. Leading firms like OpenAI, DeepMind, and Anthropic are investing heavily in building more powerful and generalized AI systems. Some current models are already showing early signs of reasoning, learning, and creativity. While true consciousness in machines is still debated, the global race towards AGI makes the possibility increasingly plausible. Knowing this trend underestimates how close we may be to developing true autonomous self-aware AI.
Awesome, awesome. Good stuff, Samuel. Yeah, AGI is very interesting. It's very scary, but there's also a lot of evidence that it's not possible in the near future. So it's interesting. I think there needs to be some large hardware advancements in order for this to come to fruition.
Wait, did you just call me Samuel?
Sorry, Russell. That's my bad. Okay. It looks like we don't have any other responses for this one. We have time for one more. Actually, this is a general question. And it's quite an interesting question because everyone can answer this one slightly differently. But the article includes both enthusiasm for and concerns about AI. In your view, does the author strike a fair balance? How does their position influence how we should approach the future of AI? So when you read an article, almost every article, no, I think it's fair to say every article has a little bit of a bias, a little bit of a spin on it. But the level of bias is actually not always it's not always clear and it's not always consistent, right? So I may read this article and think it's a little bit too pro AI, and Russell might read this and think it's a little bit too anti AI or whatnot, right? Obviously, that's not how the article goes, but just generally. So I want you all to 2 minutes, just very 2 minutes. Does the author strike a fair balance? Why or why not? Right? Is this article balanced in enthusiasm and concern for AI, or is it not? All right, 2 minutes starting now. Usually people who say something is biased or not biased will say, hey, they mentioned this pros like 7 times versus the cons 1 time, or they'll be like, oh, they they mention this pro, but they don't mention like 5 other things that like go against that are very obvious, something like that. All right, time is up. Let's see what we came up with. Okay, we got Jaya saying, in summary, the author does strike a fair balance and gives very good points from both sides. Awesome. Awesome. Fair enough. I think I personally, I think I agree. Any other takers? Any other responses?
I'm working on it. I need like one more minute.
We do. The class is about to end. Just say it verbally. Submit what you have and say the rest verbally.
The class is gonna end in 1 minute.
Okay,
What?
okay, so I feel like the author strikes a negative view on AI because he/she points out that AI like doesn't he points out several cons about AI being like I guess like a joke, like entertainment and such. And then but the author doesn't mention how AI could revolutionize many facets of human technology, I guess.
Awesome. Awesome. Fair enough. Okay, so you're saying there are so many things, amazing attributes to AI that are not, or sorry, amazing, I don't know what is it, pros, let's say pros to AI that are not addressed, and therefore it is biased by omission, right? Almost lying by omission. Fair enough. Fair enough. Actually, I think I actually, um, I agree that there's an argument there, but I think it's a little bit, I think it's mostly balanced. But yeah. Okay, and then there's a homework page. That is it for today, guys. Thank you all for participating. I will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, thank you.
Bye.